Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 representing TKOG. Today I'm coming at you guys with my deck profile for the team event, the 3v3 YCS. I came out here with my team. Shout outs, Big Backs, no more.
Big
You know what I'm
backs.
saying?
Big backs.
We were on timing on this event, bro. We came with a point to prove. We definitely had the intentionality for this event. We put a lot of time and effort into testing, researching, going over our siding patterns, going over hand trap interactions, playing under turn skips, you name it. We also did the preparatory work of studying the patterns that A, B, and C would be on. So we actually had a strategic kind of method and approach to this event. I was player B for this event. I was playing Malice. I actually expected to play mostly mirrors, which turned out to be right. And we put our player A onto Riziel thinking that he was actually going to be playing mirrors, and we built his deck to beat the mirror, and our player C was on Blue Eyes. And we expected him to play Rogue, which he was just going to body everybody anyways.
Bodies.
We finished our record finishing was X3-1. We made it to day 2, and we lost out our round 9, finished our round 10, and we realized actually the entire event that we're never going to be in top 16 because I talked to a couple of my friends afterwards, and there was a lot of X2s that actually didn't even make it to top 16. So when we came in X2-1, we really thought we were going to have a chance, but our record was never going to be good enough, even if we won out, to make it to top 16. You basically had to be X1 or X1-1 to get in the top 16 for this event. It was very cutthroat. So yeah, I played Malice for this event. I really love this deck. I love the methodical gameplay that it provides for me. It really does stimulate me mentally, and I appreciate it a lot. I actually think this is right up my alley. It's a puzzle deck. It's definitely not easy to pilot, but I think this deck played efficiently is the best deck in the room. I think because Raziel is easier to pilot, it's more popular, but this is actually the best deck. I built my deck to be able to efficiently navigate through the mirrors, and also in case I actually ran into Raziel, the tech cards that I chose in my main deck were all pretty solid. So the non-engine I felt very comfortable with. The only thing that I felt like I was going to lose to coming to this event was literally either Breaking or Lancia, and those were my only losses, were to Breaking and Lancia like I thought. Every time I drew playable, I was able to outplay anybody I was piloted against. And yeah, we can just stop wasting time and get right into it. So yeah, I played Malice. I played a 40-card list. We're going to get started with the starters. I'm playing 3 copies of Dormouse, 3 copies of White Rabbit. Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess I should have gotten my shoutouts right. Shoutouts to my wife. Shout out to my wife, my baby, my Mickey. Yeah, best field center in the game.
Best field center.
And then shout out to squad, TKOG. And shout out to my teammates, Big Back No More, T. Lou and Russell. They really held it down for me. I couldn't ask for better teammates. I literally could not. You guys just don't understand.
Sir.
So yeah, we're going to keep going. We're on 3 Dormouse, 3 White Rabbit. And I actually played 3 Chessy Cat for this event. In testing, what was coming up was me needing to see an actual name more, because originally she was the terraforming. I think objectively as a standalone card, terraforming is better. They both play in the Ash, but the other theory was playing into a hand trap and actually having a body, because for the most part, going second, you have a lot of non-engine that puts a free body on the field. So a name plus any free body is at minimum haggard into a white binder.
Yep.
And so I thought that was really efficient. I also thought, considering how Chessy playing into a detonator, terraforming is a terrible card, but Chessy, worst case in a simplified game state, I can normal her and still make Tifon over her.
Yep.
Chessy went crazy. This is actually my most faithful girl. I resolved Chessy more than any other Malice name, and I drew her dude,
every single time.
She's just broken, bro. Honestly, people were literally hand trapping this card. People she got Veilered, Imperm, she got Striked, she got Ogred, she got Ashed, she got Metal Tronist. She took everything. She took it all, so her sisters could actually play. And then I play 3 copies of Underground, and I actually didn't originally like this card at first. I'm playing 3 Allure. The reason why I started playing it was mainly because I was running into problems with bricking. Personally, I feel like Malice is the type of deck that will only lose to itself and the pilot. So if the pilot's not good enough, then the deck's just not going to be as good as it can possibly be. This deck's potential is unlocked by the pilot. With Riziel, I feel personally, even though that's the most popular deck, it's not the best. Its potential doesn't need a good pilot to be unlocked. Anybody with 2 brain cells can resolve a dual drive and make a detonator. So I think that this deck actually really is the best deck, and the consistency problems were the biggest problems. I wasn't really concerned about my matchups or what I played. I knew the only way I would lose was bricking, so I actually tested the Allures. This originally was 3 more non-engine. Allure just actually went crazy. This also works with a theory that we could talk about. I could just lay these out and then we'll finish talking. The Gold Sark and the 3 traps. There was a couple things that came up yesterday. I played 5 mirrors. I played 5 mirrors, 2 Ryziel, some random Fire King deck. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But I did play 5 mirrors. That's the most important thing. So player B, that theory was accurate. So as far as the strat post siding, Allure was a free side out as well. So it really helped with my siding patterns because I knew that I was gonna get Lanciad. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I don't know how many people this happened to. I got Lanciad every single round. Every single round, bro. I got Lanciad. And if I didn't get Lanciad, there were times when I bricked and I got Lanciad and I appreciated it. So I don't know how many Malice players got Lanciad as much as me, but I got Lanciad every time I played. It was absolutely atrocious. I was fighting for my life. So I'm glad that this was sided out, but this ups my game 1 performance. It is a pseudo starter. I play a high dark count, so it should help me to see engine. Allure was actually cracked. I drew into Talent's Metaltronus in the mirror, and literally it was just over. This card's absolutely broken. It's also a pit stop for Ash to see if they have Ash. I just want to see what my opponent has in their hand so I can kind of scope my plays. Because if I check Ash with the Allure, then I know that when I have GW set off the White Rabbit, I can comfortably play by TBing my White Binder to go in my full combo. So my White Binder's going to get the draw. I get the bodies. I make my Heart Cryptor. My boards were very simple. Most of the time, I was just making a Link 3 and just passing. But when I was able to set GW off of White Rabbit, I felt very comfortable playing into Nib as long as I was getting the Cryptor. And there was a few times where I did get nibbed, and I don't know why they nibbed at that point. I guess they knew I had GW, so it's like better yet or not. But I made a Cryptor, and then I linked up all the way into Griffin, and I was gonna stop there, and I was like actually feeling very comfortable. I'm like chilling. I'm like, even if they have an out to Griffin, I'm fine with it. I'm just gonna Griffin pass with my GW and my non-engine. And my Griffin got nibbed, and I was like, okay, bro. And my GW turned into a Soul Charge, and I just won on the spot.
Easy.
So this card's crazy. There were a couple matchups where I didn't have better side outs, so the Allure stayed in. And this also helps with the other theory that I came up with for the event as well, which more so came up as I was playing, was post-siding that if I had a name plus the Underground, that I typically would sequence by normaling the name to see for a hand trap, and then Underground would basically be like the Dormouse combo. But post-siding, I would actually go Underground into Chessy Cat as my first action and use Chessy Cat to fish for Ash. And if they don't Ash it, I just win on the spot. But if they do, then I know my Thrust is going to resolve because I sided in Thrust for like the mirror matches and for turn skips. So it was another good thing because I sided out the Allures knowing about Lancias. So, like, game 1, Allure let me see for the Ash, obviously, and then game 2s and 3s, I was using, like, the Underground and the Chessies to fish for Ash so that my Thrust can resolve, and then I know my middle Tronus was going to resolve.
Yep.
So it was just a really efficient way to kind of go down your hand trap checklist, and I'm not looking for Ash because my deck loses to it. It really doesn't. I'm looking for Ash so that certain cards could resolve. So that's kind of my theory. That's all the engine. Shout out to Chessy Cat. That's my girl, man.
Cat.
The ugliest one. That's my girl,
Chessy
bro.
Cat.
As far as non-engine, I played 3 Fuwas. This card's just it's filthy, bro. It's absolutely filthy. I played 3 Ash. I played 3 Impulse. This card is only going to hit Ice in the Red Deal matchup unless they're playing Fiendsmith. Then this card's actually custom. Very, very good card, though. And then I played 3 Impermanents, 3 Metaltronus. So the Imperms and the Ashes and the Fuwas are kind of in their own category. So I'll stop here because there's a lot of theory into my list. So these hand traps are the worst hand traps in my deck, even though they pretty much hit everything. This is mostly for coverage. Impulse is crazy in the mirror match. It's really good against the Fiendsmith stuff. It hits Metaltronuses as well. It hits plugins. It hits Eclipse Twins. Just crazy. It's really, really strong. It even checks Bystials on your Bystials so that you can combo. So I appreciate Impulse a lot, but the best non-engine in my deck were the cards that solved my 3 body problem, which was the 3 Metaltronus. This, in my opinion, is the best non-engine of the format. We predicted it right. The big 3 were actually Ryziel, Malice, and Blue Eyes, and we played the big 3, which actually was goated because our testing circle was actually, I feel, in my opinion, more prepared than anyone else. Because there's a lot of teams that are playing just all Ryziel or all Malice or Ryziel and Malice. And it was just crazy. We literally were prepared for the big 3 because we played the big 3 and tested against each other. And I felt like in every matchup that wasn't Blue Eyes, which I was player B, so I didn't have to worry about blue as I knew that. So we called that. This card is absolutely insane. So the Metatronus is fundamentally an out to detonator. It wins the mirror match on the spot. Like, this card is just disgusting going first too. It's absolutely filthy. But the main aspect of this card that makes it attractive to me is not even the negate, it's just the free body. It solves my 3-body problem. It helps me. This card literally not only outs the problem card, but it helps me to play through an Imperm or a Veiler. If I go normal Dormouse and they chain Detonator and I chain Metatronus, I'm not only playing through the Detonator, but because the Metatronus stopped Detonator and gave me a body, the Metatronus is also playing through the Veiler. So this one card solves 2 non-engine problems and gives me my free body. So it's actually filthy. And literally the cards that give everyone PTSD, the 6 Visio. I just played 6 originally. I was going to play 9, but I felt the 3 Allures were better than just 3 more Visios because Allure let me see more engine. It functions as a starter, and it helped me to draw into the Visios as well. So I just played the 6. Every time I drew a name plus a Visio, I just felt it just shouldn't even be legal.
It's free, bro.
It's literally free. These cards are just stupid. I honestly don't really use them as hand traps. I feel actually very, very confident in pushing through boards with just engine. Most of the boards I broke were with just pure engine. I didn't really draw the crazy hand trap combinations I was looking for. I mostly just drew Fuas and Impulses, to be honest, and Metatronus. Those are like the cards I saw the most. So yeah, if I had Visios, especially playing into the Raziel matchup or even the Malice Mirror, I actually would hold my Visios to play through their board, and it worked. And then lastly, the one Nibiru. This was a last minute addition. I originally was playing the 7 Visios, 1 Baldrake, and we were testing for the event. It was like the day before, and I was like, it makes no sense. I'm playing Crossout. I already don't play Veiler. I don't want to lose to variance. What if I get forced to play into Nib going second, and like I have Crossout and I lose just because I didn't allocate a slot? Won me so many games, bro. Just not even the Crossout, but also the actual card. Nobody was respecting Nib this event. I don't know, bro. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know what it is. No one was respecting Nib for this event. So this card was actually disgusting. It made me feel like I should have played 3, but I saw what I needed to saw when I needed to see it. And the 1 talent. So all of these, again, solve the 3 body problems. With Malice, you can get 2 bodies, and that solves your 3 body problem because of cards like SP and Hagrid Lizardos. But your best combos are actually when you use 3 bodies to convert into a Link 3, because that's going to play around Ogre, and that's going to beat the most hand traps, and you can get to White Binder under 5 summons. It's just crazy. Last honorary non-engine is Called By, MVP. It's a card that beats Lancia, obviously. The only card that I lose to, besides Bricking, is just the Lancia, but this card was actually just filthy. I was called by Detonators, and they were popping it themselves, trying to plug it in, trying to Eclipse Twin it. I called by a White Binder in the mirror, and then won without even having to use my own White Binder. That was filthy. So yeah, that's the main deck. We definitely did a lot of preparatory work, and I think that we came over-prepared for this event. I just wanted to make sure that we would all be good. I'm going to go into actually my side first. I typically don't do this. I save it mostly for my Patreon, but we'll do it today. It's a treat. We sided 3 Perulia. This was me expecting to play Raziel as player B as well. Just respecting it. We also wanted to respect the rogue decks. We wanted to respect Fire King, Mermail. This card was just crazy. I'm not going to lie, bro. I double Perulia and Raziel, and he passed, and I OTK'd him. We have 3 copies of Crossout. This card's stupid. I hate the design of it. It's just because of this next card. This is the only card that beats Malice. You don't lose to Chaos Hunter if you actually prepare for it. This is the only card that you lose to. I have to play Crossouts. I actually wanted to talk about this because I know that there are a lot of people who think that they can play Strikes over Crossout. My reasoning for playing Crossout is because playing into boards, when there's a fully established board and a Lancia on top of it, it's nearly impossible to win. That's, again, why a lot of Malice players have come to the conclusion that Game 1 is the most important game. Like, I agree with Jeff Jones' theory. It's, like, impossible to win through a Lancia. Unless it's in the mirror, because in the mirror you could like use Dark and then get a name and make White Binder under Lancia and get to Engine. But other than that, it's like nearly impossible. If it's like Dual Drive, Field Spell, like Detonator or Lancia, like you're losing that game. But if you have Crossout, you actually will. Like if you have Crossout and Engine, you actually will win. And that happened only once, but it's okay. So I feel personally, even though Strike's a good card, Crossout is versatile. I won games by cross-outing Imperms. I won games by cross-outing Nibs. And I won games by cross-outing Lancia. The card's actually custom. I personally believe that this is worth playing. I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid. I just used my own deductive reasoning to come to this conclusion. And if I didn't play this card, we wouldn't even have done as good as we did. Yeah, 3 Lancia. Hate that stupid card. 2 Thrust. I wanted it to be 3, but the signing patterns. Two thrusts is just mainly, I mostly use it as a going first card just to get into these two. We knew people would be on crossout, so my tech was Mischief. My teammate would have been on it, but he had to play D-Bear because he has to cross it out. But this card is crazy. The only time that this card came up, I actually misplayed with it, and it costed me a game. Super unfortunate. I learned that you have to use this on draw phase. You have to use it on draw phase. I lost a winnable game. Read your cards, you guys. Don't be like me. And then the Sanctum for the mirror match. This is also why when we're siding the thrust, we use the field spell to get Chessie first because we want to look for Ash so that this resolves and we win the game on the spot. And then to be prepared for this event, we knew everybody and their mamas was going to be siding in strikes, and we knew they'd be on imperms and Metaltronuses. And we felt that it was filthy. So I could talk about the siding theory as well. So basically for Ryziel, I thought that siding in the 3 Perlias and keeping the three Fuas, you would have 6 basically turn skips that say dual drive doesn't hit the field, so he doesn't resolve, and they're ending on detonator pass. And then we side in breakers like the Lightning Storm Duster, and then we have the 3 Metaltronus and then the 3 E-Perms. So we have like 6 outs to detonator and 6 cards to force them to end on the detonator. So the theory was just simplify the game state and then push through the detonator, which is easy to do. And it's very similar even in the mirror match. Just force them into just a white binder pass and just break their board with pure engine. And we sided this for both matchups. So that theory actually worked out, and it honestly, I think that that's the way moving forward this format is just to force them to pass on the half board with like the Mocharmies, like the Meows, the Fuwas, whichever one's for the matchup, and then just use your breakers like Metaltronus and Slayers to clean the field up. And it's really easy for Malice, especially having the free body to push through Nib. So it worked out perfect. Extra deck, 1 red Ransom, 1 white binder, 1 Cryptor. I started making it. The more I make this card, because I haven't been making it enough, I don't even play Firewall because I've never needed Firewall to win. Everybody plays Malice different, but I've been playing like the lion's share of my time with this deck, not making this card or Firewall and still winning. And my win rate went up when I started making this card more in my turn 1 combos. I was like skipping Ransom and going into this and linking it off just so I could soul charge GW and win on the spot. Like, if you end with the Links Engrave with a GW, you're not losing that game. You're not losing that game. The board's unbreakable. They can't play through it. Like, Ryziel literally can't even out a 5,000 hearts Cryptor. They literally can't. It's pointing to Dormouse, bro. It's crazy, man. That's really cool, too. The Dormouse interaction is something that I learned more because people Hail Mary Exiton in the Ryziel matchup. And if you just get your girls pointed to Dormouse, when they Exiton, Dormouse is the only one that dies, and they just lose. Splash Mage, Haggard, SP, Dark, all of these came up, every single one. And then the MVP, the GOAT! The GOAT!
The man himself.
Bro, there's no way you're playing Malice and you're not playing this card. Like, I played Wilkins. He was the only guy that No, I'm lying. I played this one against Fire Kings and then against Wilkins. He was playing Fiendsmith Ryziel. Both of them Chaos 100'd me, and I Cerberus it both times, bro. I would have lost. I actually would have lost. I didn't have Metaltronus. I didn't have Thrust. I just Engine.
Filthy.
The 2 Link ones. Shadows Lingreeble, never leaving my list. Access Code. This card's crazy in this deck, going second specifically, because you force Nib out, because you put lethal on board, and then you just OTK them with Cryptor after you Nib them. It happens so often. 1 Griffin. Barely made it. I made it round 1 in the mirror. I made it through just an Ash and a Veiler, which, those are mid anyways. But most of the games I won, honestly, were just literally off, not even Cryptor. It was off White Binder. I honestly won most of my games off just White Binder control and then going into just a solid access code line to clean it up. So, yeah, the link that I made the most was White Binder. There were games when I summoned this off TB, and this was the only actual, Malice link that I made. So, White Binder definitely won me, all of my matches. And then this card's still broken. It just doesn't come up enough because, the only hands where I can actually comfortably play into this is when my White Rabbit resolves to set GW early so that my combo's insulated. But when they negate White Rabbit, I'm forced to respect Nib more. Detonator for the Tronus, and then Typhon. Shoutouts to Typhon. Didn't win me any games when it comes up. And yeah, that's the list, you guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Shoutouts to my team, Big Backs No More. Shoutouts to my wife. I appreciate you guys for watching. Deuces.